Show you on how we can add our data using the command prompt, just to show you on where you can be able to use the PostGIS or PostGIS administrator and get to write commands in SQLs for you to add data. So if you have Windows, you have to check for command prompt, and then run these as administrator. This is the pop-up window that will show. Once this is on, we have now to assign a directory for our data. Because we're using PostGIS to connect to our data, we'll have to give the directory to that using command prompt. We also have different ways, like using QGIS graphical user interface. We can also use the PostgreSQL administration platform, PostGIS, just to show you the databases that you have and how you can connect data to your pgAdmin. So once the command prompt is on, we're going to just write our code for assigning the directory for the data. So it's I'm going to type cd / program files / postgreSQL / version 12 / bin. Then I'm gonna hit on return. Then I'm now going to type directory to see the files that can be run here. So once this is on, I can now be able to access my database through pasting my username and my database link. So I'm gonna paste my username, so it's psql. I'm gonna assign my username, which is postgres. Then I'm gonna assign my database. So my database is called SDB, standing for Spatial Database _ tutorial. Then I'm gonna hit on my return. So I'm required to put my password. I'm just gonna key in my password real quick. So I'm gonna hit on enter, and we're in the database. So you can see SDB tutorial, and when I look at my graphical user database, the pgAdmin, once I look at my database and just drop to my schemas, I'm gonna look at my tables, refresh this. So this is my spatial database tutorial. This is the database that I have. So when I look at my command prompt, we also have the same here. So what I'm going to do is try and connect or select the data that I have in this database. So I'm gonna just key in a code or a SQL command, which is and you can get help if you don't have an idea where I'm getting all these commands. Once you type in help, you're able to see a variety of SQL commands that you can be able to use. For example, the H for help, and then to terminate the window you use G. So I'm gonna just select, and if I want to list all the databases that I have, I'm gonna hit on L, and you can see I have these are my database. To my database, hit on enter, and now I'm being told you're connected to database, special database tutorial. So I want to select everything that is in there. I hit on select. Aesthetic from, so where is my data located? My data is COVID, so it's COVID. I hit on enter. So it's loading in a while. So once you check in here, I have a couple of, this is now the database that I want to see what data we have in here by using the command prompt. So I can be able to see the column IDs, confirmed cases, and whatever data we have here. So once you're here, there's also a different method that you can use just to avoid all these hassles. You can terminate these, and then if you don't want to repeat assigning the directory or the path, if you have Windows 10, what you do is pretty handy and simple. You're going to search for environment, edit environment. So once you're here, you open this, and we can decide to, rather than keying in every now and then the path, we can just decide to give a path. So you click on the environments. Once you're here, you click on path, edit, assign a new path. So you click on new. I'm gonna give my directory path, so it's C. I'm gonna put my columns, backslash program files, just to make sure I type everything correctly. Program files, backslash psql, and then you give it the version, which is 12. I'm gonna give it a bin. Just counter check and see if it's correct. I'm gonna hit on OK. Then I'm gonna close this. Once I reopen my command prompt, now when I just type psql, I'm now ordered to give my password, so I'm gonna key in my password. Keyed in the wrong password, so I'm gonna do this again. Enter. So I'm gonna key in my password. Looks like we have an error. So what I'm gonna do is close this window, reopen it again, PSQL. Then I'm going to give it my username, which is Postgres. I'm also going to give it a directory to the database, which is partial database underscore tutorial. Hit on the return, my password, hit on enter, and we are connected to the database. So I can decide to select everything from SDB tutorial, SDB underscore tutorial. I'm going to close this and hit an enter, and I'm still in, so I'm going to use the same command and now give in the database name, which is COVID. Hit on enter. So we have an error. Hit back the arrow key and public the domain. COVID. And I'm in. So there are other commands that you can decide to use. Probably if you type in help and then drop database, it's going to tell you remove a database. It's probably telling you what this command means. The description is to remove the database and probably drop it for good, but we're not going to use this. So another way that you can get access to your data is through the PostgreSQL administration. So if I key in help, I will be given a variety of commands. So I can key in help and just to see how you can connect to the database. So if I want to see the list of all the databases they have, I'm gonna hit an L. I'm also gonna connect to, you can switch any database. If I want to go to spatial database and they want to switch to Postgres, I can say connect to Postgres. So this gives me, you're now connected to Postgres. So I'm no longer in the SDB database. I'm now in the Postgres database. So another way you can use to look at your data is the pgAdmin. And the pgAdmin can also key in the same queries. So once you're here, you can click on the query tool. When you're in the query tool, you're able to type in a SQL or commands, probably to check your data. Probably you can say select. Make sure everything is in uppercase. Select everything from public .covid. or execute this command, you can see we have a syntax error. So definitely means if you haven't written the SQL well, then you probably face this a lot. So we need to adjust this and query this back, and you can see it is successful. Probably need to leave a space, and this is the data that I have in my database. So you can see the notifications, explanations, messages, the query history, all the history that I've used to query my data. Now another way that you can be able to look at your data is through QGIS. So I can be able to access my data from the database by connecting to it. I'm just going to remove these layers and probably connect to my database. I'm going to click on new. If you aren't connected yet, you click on new connection, post here the name of your database, postgreSQL. The service is leave as default, the host is localhost, the port, the database, probably the password. So I'm just going to take you through this. So my database is it's postgreSQL. PostgreSQL 12. I'm on localhost. Localhost. Database name is SDB underscore tutorial. SSL mode is to prefer. I'm going to give my username, which is Postgres. I'm also going to give my password. And then I'm going to test my connection. So I'm connected successfully. I want to allow saving and loading QGIS projects in this database. Also show layers in the layer registries. The list of tables can be shown too. I'm going to click on OK. So once I'm here, I can be able to connect to my DB. And add data. So you can see my data has been loaded. I'm just gonna switch this so that we can see it clearly. Probably change the symbology to a bit darker red. Apply, okay. So this is my data, and I can decide now to export the same. If I have a couple of data here, I can decide to export my data to pgAdmin, probably manage it from there. So what you need to do is click on processing, the two boxes. You click on the database option, and then you can click on PostgreSQL execute SQL. So once I'm here, I can be able to key in a SQL. So say for example select. It's probably when you want to key in some data, so I will say select. everything. COVID. I'm gonna run this. So my layers are being loaded. Loading resulting layers. So I'm gonna close these and wait for my layers to be loaded in the layers panel. I can also be able to export to PostgreSQL once I have connected to my database. Export all the data that I have to my database administrator, which is pgAdmin. So once I'm here, double click on these, and then you can choose on what data you want. Connect to the database connection name, the schema, and then you can give the geometry column that you want. And once you run these, the data is going to be exported to your dbAdmin. So for example, I want to change this to, I can change this to another name so that we see if we can see the data on pgAdmin. So I'm just going to change the source to probably COVID-4, COVID-3. Apply. Okay. So what I want to do is export these. Export the COVID-3 to my database. Administration unit. I must have clicked several commands. It's because the other layer that I had imported is trying to load into the canvas. So we will wait. But this is pretty handy. It's pretty cool. Just looking at how you can swap between databases, connect to different databases using the administrator. So I want to connect to probably my SDB _ tutorial. Gonna hit and enter. Now I'm connected here. I can be able to describe this database. So I have the COVID sequence, and I also have the geography columns and the geometry columns. I can be able to describe the table further. By running this command, hit and enter. So we have a table, and then I can decide to select everything from COVID. Then I close that with close marks. I'm gonna hit and execute. So the character with byte encoding UTF has now increment to 1, 2. So I can decide connecting to select. Everything from COVID, copy, I'm gonna close while the QGIS is still loading, because it's still dragging and loading the files, exporting the files. We can also look on how we can track this to ArcGIS, connect to ArcGIS. So I'm gonna hit on file. So what I want to do is to pull this data. I'm gonna show you how to pull this data from this pgAdmin to ArcGIS. So what I'm gonna do is hit on I'm gonna pull this COVID-19 data, query tool, all rows. So this is just a quick way on visualizing your data on the administration dashboard, whereby you're able to look at the data outputs that you have on your database. So I want to export everything here. To ArcMap. So I'm going to click on File, Add Data, add a query layer. I'm gonna look for my connections. I don't have any connections yet. So I'm gonna hit on connection. I'm gonna create a new connection. Database platform is PostgreSQL. The instance here is localhost. So I'm gonna key in localhost. And I'm gonna key in my username, which is Postgres. I'm also key in my password. So I want to connect to which database. I'm gonna give it a name. I'm gonna connect to SDB tutorial, the spatial database tutorial. Click on OK. Now I'm able to manage my connection. And you can see the list of data that I have in my in my database. So from here I'm able to look at the type, the nullables, the active in the rows, column, and the constraints. So let ArcGIS discover spatial database and validate. So I'm gonna give it a name, probably COVID, and ArcGIS is gonna validate everything. So I'm gonna select everything. From COVID. I need to put this in lowercase just to match up with the name of the layer. So I'm gonna validate. So I don't have any errors. Once validation is over, I'm gonna hit on next. The unique identifier is the ID, and the geometry type, these are all points. The spatial reference ID is 3857. I'm gonna click on finish. Wait for some time for my layers to load. gonna take around 20. All the data that were in here have been visualized in both mapping softwares, that is QGIS, and I've also visualized it in ArcGIS, and command prompt has also listed all the data that are here. So what you need to know is to understand the back end of PG administration, the coding behind it, how you can connect, because most of the time when you want to connect to a different database, we use the command prompt. If you have Mac, then you can use the psql shell. Probably if you buy some of my videos, I will be able to buy Mac and show you how this is done on Mac. But what's really cool is that how you can be able to connect, visualize, and manage this data in all these mapping softwares. So we're able to adjust these. You can be able to look at the attributes for this data. Probably connect to other data. So every data that has been, all these table that you're seeing here is stored in the administration section, which is PG administration section. So you can manage your data from the administration section, which makes it pretty cool for you to do updates and also execute queries and give out limits to probably the number of rows that you want to be accessed from the other end, and get to visualize this in mapping softwares. What's really unfortunate is that you cannot be able to edit this data from ArcMap. Whatever you need to do, you're limited with ArcMap, but with QGIS you're able to edit this data and probably get to add some more features, style it up. But in ArcMap, whatever you can do is just pull the data and visualize it, probably join to other related data, which is pretty cool. Alright, I'm hoping you liked the video. I'm gonna have to end the session now and go to bed, so don't make sure you subscribe to my channel and probably ask for more videos, whatever's giving you hard time to do when it comes to pgAdmin in Postgre. I'll dig more into connecting raster and shape files with command prompt. Probably if you want to connect to, there's a command that says shapefile to pgSQL. Let's see this. So raster to raster file to, I'm gonna just end this session first. You'll enter. So it's shapefile to psql. Gonna end this again. SHP to pgSQL. Click on enter.